Thanks for joining us on Belfast Talk Straight. Dear, 12 hours, 18 hours after what was a long and arduous test series. It all started, June, July of 2021, finished on the 5th of July in 2022. It was an unbelievable series, 2-2 in the series. We're here to look back at what was an epic run chase, unbelievable finish, and a one that England fans are just wondering, where can this England team go now? Yes, 2-2 in the series between England and India. Edgbaston was a picture again. 20,000, nearly 20,000 people all got in for free. Made a nice donation to the Bob Willis Fund, which I think raised nearly £300,000, which was phenomenal. Not just because of what the fund and what the charity's about, but it's fitting to the man because Bob Willis was a wonderful human being, a good friend, and somebody who died of prostate cancer. And it was, it's a horrendous cancer that's going to get a lot of male men during their time. So to raise £300,000 to try and help that was phenomenal. So congratulations to all that helped out, raise money, donation, and everything. So, and that was largely down to free entry at Edgbaston on day 5, which was an epic, to be honest. I wouldn't say it wasn't a sort of anticlimax, because I think everybody thought there might be a sting in the tail, there might be something happening, but England just breezed along and got the runs and nice and easy before lunchtime, and they were celebrating just after 12 o'clock. But that wasn't the whole story. It was Joe Root, Johnny Bairstow, who just carried on batting the way they've batted throughout this summer, which was magnificent. Neither batsman had gotten a fourth innings century. And now Johnny's got 2, Joe's got 2, a couple of 70-odd not outs. And it's just been a complete transformation of where this England cricket team has gone. And when you look back at the test match, England win the toss, bowl first. We're always going to, because they needed to win the game. India were 2-1 up in the series. So from that point of view, England, I thought, started brilliantly. 90 for 5, everything going in their favour, and a great innings by Rishabh Pant. Go down as well, probably one of his best test match hundreds so far. 400s outside India. I think this boy is, Rishabh Pant is a real talent. And along with Ravindra Jadeja, got to 400. And I thought, that's it. England are out the game. I didn't think England could possibly be in this contest, having given away some sloppy runs at the end of the first innings from India's point of view. But then England came out. India bowled nicely. England survived and hung on by the skin of their teeth. Another great 100 by Johnny Bairstow. And then from then, I think it was all about India. And I think all about India making a hash of it. I don't think they got enough runs. I think they thought they had enough runs, and I think they're individually, from a player's point of view, just left it to somebody else. And when you do that, sometimes by the time the horse is bolted, it's too late, and England having to chase 375 on a fourth day, fifth morning pitch, which wasn't really spinning off the surface, more off the footholds. England went about their job, and Alex Lees, Zach Crawley got off to a good start just before tea on day 4. England had a little bit of a wobble, losing Ollie Pope with the 2 openers, and then it was all about Johnny Bairstow and Joe Root, the former England captain, getting 140 and batting absolutely beautifully. So from India's point of view, look, they lost Rohit Sharma, didn't have K. Rahul. At one point, I'm watching 4 or 5 different captains on the field. Eritra's got a question. What went wrong for India? And what moment did you think India lost this test match? Well, Rita, I'll tell you, I think it was in the batting late on in the second innings. I think when you look at the score 245, it's not a bad score. But when you in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at 150 for 4, you've got to get 275. You've got to get 275, close to 300. And if you do that, England are now chasing 400. And when you put 400 on last innings total, I think mentally, even though the way it went, England would have chased a lot. Could have chased a lot more. But I think if it's a different game when psychologically scoreboard pressure and it's 400 and it's into 400 plus. So I think that was the first point. I think the bowling at the start of England's fourth innings, I think that was another point where I think the rudderless ship when it comes to the leadership qualities of or inexperience of Jasprit Bumrah. He didn't bowl enough himself at the start, I don't think. Shami bowled very, very nicely. Selection, not having R. Ashwin in his side, I think that was something that I don't think went in India's favour this week. I think when Shardul Thakur and Mohammad Siraj in that second innings was bowling, it was nowhere near the velocity of Bumrah and Shami, and Jadeja just didn't come to the party, didn't perform at all. So from India's point of view, where did it go wrong? The bowling department in the first innings bowled nicely. Second innings, I thought they took pressure in, which is a really, really difficult thing to say because India play under the ultimate pressure. They play all their cricket under the ultimate pressure. Whether they were undercooked, I don't believe that. I just think England put India under pressure when they're with their mindset and momentum of they've come in hard early in the fourth innings. And I don't think India recovered. I really don't think India know what had hit them. Batting wise, yeah, I think there's one or two trying to play for their places. I think they were under pressure that front. Pant, Pujara batted nicely in the Test match. Where did he go? He got 66 in the second innings, trying to hold it all together. But nobody really took responsibility, and I think that's what I'd be disappointed with if I was Rahul Dravid. I'd be thinking nobody's really took the onus to try and win this Test match for India, like England with Johnny Bairstow and Joe Root. And from there, I think, when it comes to the Indian point of view, you've got one days coming up, something that they're more suited with. Could this have just cost them the World Test Championship final because they were sort of second or third in the table? They've not won this Test match, so they don't get the points from that. They've been docked, I think, 2 World Test points, which is a blow. We've got to remember, Australia didn't qualify for the World Test Championship last time because they've been docked by 2 points for a slow over it. So, deja vu, it might be something that comes back in and haunts England. So, look, I think India will be licking their wounds and they'll have to make sure they get it right when it comes to the white, getting the whites on again. But they're now going into a format which they are comfortable with, which is the white ball format. And they are obviously a lot stronger at that, getting themselves ready for the World T20 when it comes around the corner in Australia. In England, look, it's a completely different mindset shift. Joe Root was fantastic after play, talking to Nasser Hussain, I think it was, and Mark Butcher. Harris 5-2-7-2. Bazball is here to stay. Big tests will be away tours to Australia and India. You've got it spot on, Harris. You've got it spot on. It will be tougher going to Australia and India. But if you have got a momentum like England have got at this minute in time, England will believe they can beat anybody. I'll go back to my time in 2004. We won 7 Test matches in a row in England. I think we won 10 out of 11 Test matches, with the only exception of the drawn Test match in Antigua when Lara got 400. And we felt as though we could beat anybody. We went to Australia, went to South Africa, and were the first team to win in South Africa after apartheid. And then we went to England, back to England, and beat Australia, the great Australia, in the 2005 Ashes. I see there's a lot of similarities with this group going into that because of the subtle mindset shift. What's changed? COVID's changed I think not having the restrictions inside hotels, inside bubbles, has freed the individuals, freed the players to express themselves and get out and enjoy life and be like humans, not like caged animals. I think that's helped. And I also think freedom of Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes, giving you a clarity of thought that when the toss comes, we are going to try and win the game from the toss. When it comes, for whatever the situation we are, we're going to try and win the game. If we lose the game trying to win the game, so be it. If we keep to this mindset, we will win more games than we'll lose. And I think when you get a clarity and a freedom of thought like that, I think you've always got a chance of winning cricket matches like England have done. You're never out of them. You feel as though you're still in them. And looking at the India batting at the second half of the third innings of this game, there were 7 wickets, 90 runs, and that was largely Ben Stokes saying to his side, come on, we need to make sure we get them under 400 because we're still trying to win this game. Ben gets 4 for 33 and England go on and win the game. And I think that is something that can't be underestimated. And I also think that England's players are making better decisions because of that. I don't believe England, 1 from 17, Joe Root, Chris Silverwood, in the past were bad players. I just think they were making bad decisions under pressure. And I think a bit like India this week, I think they were feeling a lot of the pressure because in the last 18 months. Vishant, 378 was chased down by just 4 batters. Remarkable achievement. It was a remarkable achievement. It was a phenomenal achievement. Vishant, when you get a big score like this, it's the same in one-day cricket. It's either 378 for 3 or 180 all out, going down the road of trying to chase it the way you do. I think once you get on that roll, there were teetering probably about tea time on day 4, where you thought, you know what, this could be it. This is a challenge. What happened? Crawley left one gets bowled, Pope nicks off, and then Lee's gets run out. Joe Root's not there. England don't win because I think Joe Root did a brilliant job. Johnny Bestow's got 600s in 2022, and I don't even think Johnny, the way his mindset is, would have been able to put the fire out without Joe being at the other end. Just taking the sting out of the game, calm and influence, and taking the pressure away from, pushing the pressure back on India by just absorbing the game, dampening the crowd down because it was quite ferocious at the time. The crowd were up, the noise was going, and Joe Root just sort of took this thing out of the game for half an hour and then went back onto the offensive. And I think because of that, I think that's why England have chased down it quite comfortably. Simon, do you feel that where will be cascade effort on first-class cricket now there's Bazball? Quite possibly. I think what we're going to find in first-class cricket is players who are going to try and fit this way. I don't think there's always when it comes to I don't think there's a mind shift to county cricket about, well, the England team are playing this way, you've got to play this way. I think individuals do that, Simon. I think individuals recognise, if I want to get in the England team, I have to play this way. If I want to bat 4, 5, 6 or whatever. And I also think the bowling side of it now, I think with the balls going a bit softer, because we've had another test match where we were constantly changing cricket balls. There's been a bad batch of Duke balls so far this summer. And don't get me started on where we go with that one, because that could take another hour and a half. And you don't want me whittering on for another hour and a half. What you want is, I think, this batch of balls going soft and the wickets flattening out are now producing bowlers, or teams are having to produce bowlers to do something different. And I think that would be the good for English cricket and for first-class cricket. So gone are the days of 75 mile an hour, just running up, landing on a length and getting a wicket. We are now having to find the guys like some Matt Potts, who's come out of nowhere. What a series he's had. What a summer he's had so far. I don't even think Matt Potts 6 months ago would have thought about playing for England. And he's now, one of the first names on the team sheet. So congratulations to him on that. But he does something different. He gives you something different. And that's what first-class cricketers are having to do now. They're having to, think outside the box from a bowling point of view. And then from a batting point of view, well, they'll naturally watch what's happening with the England cricket team. And young players will come in and try and play and develop their game accordingly to do that. And I think, Simon, that's good for English cricket. Right, have we got another one? Aria, can this sort of self-belief translate across formats as well? Can the England T20 and ODI squads gain the confidence from this test side has gathered? Absolutely, 100%. And I think this test side has gone I think it's actually gone role reverse. It's gone the other way. I think this test side's self-belief has come from the mentality of what the 2015 World Cup debacle did for the English cricket. Owen Morgan grabbing the team, having a clear and understanding how he wants his team to play. If we make a mess of it, if we get beat embarrassingly, I'm not bothered. We stick to this plan. We stick to this game the way we go, and we stick to this sort of clear mindset and thought processes and decision making. And if we lose, we lose, but we're going to keep doing it, and we'll get better by doing it. And I think that's what happened in the white ball side. I think that's what's happening now in the Ben and Brendan are doing with the red ball side. And I think the confidence that these players are undoubtedly going to get going into and going over from red ball to white ball once the sort of formats change. I think the confidence from that will be through the roof. So I would imagine next week when the white ball side get together, they'll feed off the great results that we've had so far this summer in the test matches. And I think they will go and take it to another level. And it'll be up to Josh Buttler and his side to make sure when the baton is passed back to Ben, back in August time, ready for South Africa coming in August and September, that the feel-good factor in the country is still sky high. And that will be, I'm sure that will be the aim of the England cricket team going forward. Fascinating point. Thanks, Army. Yes, thanks, Aria. I really appreciate all the questions that everybody's asked. It's been a wonderful 5 days. It really has. Barred from a couple of morons who decided that they were going to spoil it for everybody at Edgbaston. But fingers crossed, they will get dealt with properly and rightly and will never be allowed into another cricket ground ever again. Congratulations to Edgbaston, who put on a wonderful show, and both teams for playing in such a way which excites the general public about love of test match cricket. Test match cricket's not dead. Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum are going to make sure that the England cricket team are going to go forward, and fingers crossed, next time we talk, we're talking in a positive way. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a review. We'll answer your questions, and we'll see you soon.